YouTube, what's up, vibes? Y'all see what we got? We got that Sam O'Nella Academy. Banned in controversial foods. We ain't gonna say too much. We just gonna get straight into it. Let's get it. What
Hey
they talking
Majors,
about?
so I'd like to start off with a little biology lesson. When a species finds itself living on an island, it can start to evolve in strange ways based on the different pressures applied by the new environment. This is called island syndrome, and while it
Really?
can manifest in a lot of ways, the biggest driving force is often a lack of predators. For example, the dodo lost its ability to fly since there was nothing to flee
Oh,
from.
wow.
The saint killed a field mouse got twice as big since it no longer had to hide. And with no one around to bully them, the Sardinians started putting maggots in their cheese. Meet Kazumatsu, literal
Ew.
translation, rotten cheese. It's made
I've
by
heard of
taking a
that.
perfectly
That's
good wheel of pecorino and letting
disgusting.
a special type of fly lay eggs in it.
That
The
is
fly made by taking a
disgusting.
proteins. Meet Kazumatsu, literal translation, rotten
Why?
cheese.
How is that
It's
a
made by taking
delicacy?
a perfectly good wheel of pecorino and letting a special type of fly lay eggs in it. The fly babies then work to partially digest the cheese, rendering it goopy and wet and maybe quite tasty and worm-filled. Now, cheese as a concept is already quite suspect. It's clotted milk that you fill with bacteria and mold and let sit for a while. But cheese is safe and delicious. Cheese is my friend. I trust cheese. So my guard would be down around Kazumatsu. I've learned to look past a cheese's childhood. Strange upbringings are what give them their character. But it turns out, those maggots are still alive. And if you don't chew well enough, they can cause enteric myiasis, which is a fancy term for fly larvae living in your intestines. Symptoms are similar to food poisoning, except with the added psychic pain of knowing that, again, your bowels are full of squiggly new friends. It's for this
Why
reason
would
that
you even
Kazumatsu
try
is banned
it?
in the EU
That's
and elsewhere. A black
disgusting.
market still exists, which is wild, and it's not a small one. In 2019, the illicit Kazumatsu trade was estimated to be worth 2 to 3 million euros annually. Personally, I would just do it prohibition style, like definitely don't put these fly eggs on this sumptuous wheel of pecorino. But if you do, you absolutely shouldn't keep it warm and damp for a week. But although it's traditional to leave the larvae alive when you eat your mag and cheese, some consumers still prefer them dead, shockingly. In that case, one puts the cheese in a sealed bag, and when the maggots run out of oxygen, they writhe around and fling themselves all over the place. This is heard as a distinct pitter-patter against the walls of the bag, and when the sound stops, the contents are ready to eat, like popcorn. Shark fin soup is one most of us have heard about already,
I've heard of it.
mostly in reference to its effect on shark populations and the wastefulness that goes into making it. Until recently, though, I never
didn't know
looked
that
into
was
the
a
nature
real
of the dish
thing.
itself. I figured, right, the fins are
Show
just
me a
the only
picture.
part of the shark worth eating. Big whoop. It's probably not much different from, like, swordfish. Apparently, though, I had it backwards. Shark fins aren't even meat. They're made almost entirely of cartilage and collagen. They are
So
the
what's
last
the
part we
point?
should be eating. That's why it's only made into soup. Cartilage and collagen. They are the last part we should be eating. That's why it's only made into soup,
Just
because without
done.
being soaked in broth, it has zero flavor or nutrition.
You're just being wasteful. You're just killing a shark for the sake to kill the shark. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Nutritional value on its own. Their only redeeming quality is their unique mouthfeel due to how stringily the collagen grows in structures called ceratotrichia. The texture has been described as somewhere between chewy and crunchy, which I find describes most things, actually. Other adjectives present on Wikipedia include snappy, gelatinous, and sinewy.
Gelatin.
The exact
What is-
sensation of eating this substance
what is
remains
that?
a mystery
What is
to me, and the
gelatinous and
unintended side
sinewy?
effect of all this
I've heard of
research is that I now
gelatinous, but
really want to
sinewy?
try it. Like, it's a big trade. I've got to be the one that's wrong. There is imitation
I really
shark fin
don't
soup
want-
available, but I've already decided
I really
that it's
don't
not
wanna
nearly
try
as
it.
good. So I've come up with a compromise to this controversy. Everyone on Earth gets just
Have
one
you
bite.
have
Say
y'all
there's
tried fried shark before? That shit good as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. That joint jump. Fried shark jump,
10
bro.
bites to a fin, 4 fins to a shark. 200 million sharks die, sure, a necessary casualty, but then we can end the practice forever. All done. You can finally rest, Mr. Ming.
But
Come
what
here,
about the
baby.
next generation that wants some? Then what?
Aw. Aki. What? Aki.
Hey.
Where? Aki. The Aki
Ike. That's that Jamaican.
is a fruit originally from West Africa, which is most commonly associated with Jamaican
Yes,
cuisine,
sir.
where
That's
it
that
appears in such
Jamaican.
dishes as ackee and saltfish.
That
These alien kidneys
Jamaican.
here are called the arils, and they're the only part
Jamaica.
of the fruit that's actually eaten. Their flavor is on the savory side, being described the aril, where it appears in
That's
such
saltfish
dishes
and
as ackee
ackee.
and saltfish. These alien kidneys here are called the arils, and they're the only part of the fruit that's actually eaten. The flavor
Really?
is on the
I didn't know
savory
that.
side, being described as kind of nutty or bean-like. What makes the ackee controversial, though, is the effects it can cause when prepared improperly. properly. If the arils are allowed to completely ripen, they're harmless, but if you eat them too early, or don't thoroughly clean off all the non-aril stuff, they can cause Jamaican vomiting sickness. This disease doesn't sound real, it sounds like it belongs next to Eastern sweats and Tangerian bone grindings, but that's actually an official term, and as for symptoms, it does what it says on the tin. Plus maybe death. While ackee-based products aren't outright illegal in the United States, they are very tightly regulated, and the raw fruit itself cannot be imported. So if you're American and want to try it, your options are fully cooked canned ackee or going to Florida where a few people grow it domestically. Next we have bird's nest soup. This is another one that I've vaguely heard of, and for years I just assumed the name was a playful metaphor like ants on a log or shit on a shingle. Turns out, nope, this dish contains an actual bird nest. Not like a pile of twigs like I was picturing, but rather a specific type of nest only made by certain species of swiftlets. These nests are mostly made out of mucins, which are a set of proteins that, among other things, serve to thicken all those wonderful secretions our bodies make. There's a little bit in human—
My question is, who was the first person to think of eating that, bro? Like, you went up to a bird nest and like you said, that should look good as fuck.
Saliva, a little bit more in mucus,
Like,
and in swiftlet
bro,
saliva,
what?
look out, pal. So all the swiftlet does is it finds a nice wall, starts laying out fat strings of slobber, which
Spitting?
dry, and
It
eventually she's got a
spits?
nice place to
You're
roost. That
eating
is, right up
bird
until some
spit?
gourmand says,
You're eating bird spit. Nah, you're
and they then
different.
reconstitute
You're
it back into its
different,
original
bro.
gelatinous
You're
texture.
nasty as
Unfortunately,
hell.
these nests can't enter the US since, believe it or not, eating bird saliva is a great way to catch bird flu.
I
And
would
now the
not
time has
believe it,
come
yeah.
to speak of the ortolan. The ortolan is a kind
Why
of
you say it
bug,
like that?
which is a sort of passerine, which is a type of bird. They're birds. Like many animals,
eat
they have a long
birds?
history of being eaten by the French. But what separates the ortolan from your average squab or pheasant is the unique way in which it is prepared and eaten. They're typically caught with nets and kept in the dark, which causes them to overeat for some reason. Once it's about twice as fat, the entire bird is then thrown into a container of brandy, alive, and sealed in. While this serves to marinate the creature, it also drowns in the process, thereby killing one bird with no stones. The ortolan is then roasted, plucked, and presented whole to the consumer, who inserts the carcass into their mouth, feet first. As they chew, one
What?
hand continues holding the bird—
The whole body of the bird?
who inserts the carcass into their mouth, feet first. As they chew, one hand continues holding the bird's head, while the other picks out the larger bones. This whole ritual is usually performed with a towel or large napkin over one's head. There's a few explanations for the purpose of the towel. Some say it's just there to keep the aromas in, while others say it's there to, quote, shield from God's eyes the shame of such a decadent and disgraceful act. Yeah, this one I'm okay with not
Nah,
trying,
bro.
actually.
I'm
Notable
good.
fans of
I'll
this dish
pass on
include act. Yeah, this quote, shield from God's eyes the shame of such a decadent and disgraceful act. Yeah, this one I'm okay with not trying, actually. Notable fans of this dish include, not joking, Bill Cosby and the guy who invented the lobotomy. To be part of that social club. Our mission is to eat birds whole and then make people not remember things. Killing ortolans was banned across the EU in 2007, not for any ethical reason, but because French people did this so much that the entire ortolan population was threatened. Thankfully,
Bro.
as of 2018, their conservation status is under least concern, so hopefully the
Y'all
French can
ass
get
was
back to it
playing-
soon.
almost
Anyway, that's
had
all I
them
have for today.
stink,
Until
bruh.
next time, I'm Salmonella, and thank you for watching.
Oh, it's salmonella. I thought it was Sam O'Neill or whatever. Hey, W video though. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, comment, subscribe, push that noti bell, all that good shit. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Peace.